Hey there, this is Peter. I am web developer and owner of the company WebAca. We are a Pennsylvania-based web development company. Pennsylvania is located in United States, for those of you who are looking at this video from other countries. And right now I'm actually looking for somebody to help me with wireframing. Now, what kind of wireframing are we talking about? Before I get into the wireframing and what I need help with, I just want to give a quick overview of the company and what we are doing. We are a web development company. We build really beautiful websites for businesses. We have worked with a lot of small projects, starting from around $300. And we also built very expensive websites. Our biggest project was a $70,000 website. But those big projects, they don't really come too often. So the types of websites that we built are very different from generic websites that you see usually built by outsourcing companies. Websites that we build, they are extremely flexible, extremely customizable. Let's just give you a quick overview. Here's one website that we are actually in process of building right now. You can see that I don't even have the footer programmed yet. You can see that we have really nice elements here, the menu, order now button, and if you inspect it, let's look at the mobile version. You can see that the websites that we built, they are mobile friendly. Again, I need to work on this section here. There's going to be two in a row. But the essence of this, what I want you to take away, is that we are very different from the generic web development company where where web developers, they simply use templates to build websites. We don't use templates. We actually custom code each website ourselves. This is a back-end administration of the WordPress, and you can see that the elements that you have seen on the front page, I'm going to go to, sorry, not my website, but Oil Essential. The elements that you see here, let's look at this header, for example. They're not hard-coded into the website as you would expect from a custom developed website. If we shrink the screen over here, you can see that this image changes. So there's two versions. There's this version with the drop over here, and as we squish the screen, we have a second version over here. And you can see that a person is actually able to go to the home page, the back administration of the WordPress, and they can modify this by themselves. They can delete it, they can add a new image. Well, let's just give an example like here. This is going to be extremely small resolution, simply because it's not meant to be here. But you can see that a person is able to modify the content of their website themselves very, very easily after the website has been built. Same thing with all of the other elements. Top header is this section over here. You can see that this is brought out into the backend administration. They can modify text to whatever they want. They click update, and changes are reflected on the front end of the website. So they can go back to their website, they can edit everything as they wish. They can create links to elements. This is the element that we're looking at right now. They can assign a link to a specific page. They can change the images. Same with this element here. I mean, everything is extremely flexible. Everything is editable. We can drag and drop different buttons into different locations, and it's going to be reflected on the front end of the website. So these types of websites, are usually sold for over $10,000 per website, because they allow such an immense flexibility. They're extremely fast loading because we don't use templates, we build websites from scratch. So one of the things that you might wonder, well, who orders the websites from us? What are the companies? We build websites for any type of company at this time, but generally non-profit organizations or companies that have their own graphic design department, they would highly benefit from this because they already have a team that manages websites. So an interface like this would really help them. One of our bigger projects is, no, it's not PayPal. Saden.org. It's a team of a fairly large number of people who work there. There's the team that works there, and they have their own graphic design department. So they go in and they manage the website that we built for them. And I haven't heard from them for quite a bit of time. This website has 6 blogs, very complicated website, but the backend administration is so well built. It is extremely robust that I haven't heard from them for about a year. And I know that they're extremely satisfied with the website and how it functions. The only bad part about this website is the fact that they are hosting on their own server, and the load speeds, the server response time is really bad, but this is the IT network that they have. Okay, so that's the overview of the type of things that we do. If we use plugins, we use very little plugins to make sure that the website doesn't slow down, and we use the premium version of plugins, and this makes sure that the website stays robust and stays operational for a long time. So that's the nutshell of what we do. I know it's 7 minutes into this video, but I just wanted to get across the type of quality of websites that we output. Now, going back to the wireframing, everything starts with wireframing. Well, everything starts with client's request to build a website. Once I have a client call me asking me to build a website, I go through a discovery session. I talk to a client to understand what type of website he needs, what is the rough structure that it will have, what are the elements, what is more important for them to generate leads, or is it going to be a website that's going to be used as a tool for their business, and they don't really care about leads at this time. So it really depends on what client actually needs. So this discovery session is on me. I talk with client, I get the initial information from them. I will create a very rough outline of what they would like to see on their website, really a hand sketch, and then I ask client for in-depth information. So I'll ask client for specific things that I think will be needed on the website, and that's where things that's when the work actually starts. Usually clients, they don't really provide much information simply because they don't have time to provide information. So we usually write information for our clients ourselves, and that's where the copywriting element of my need to have somebody help me comes in. I need somebody who will go out and look at competitors' websites and compile content, copy, for a given client that is interested in us building a website for them. Once you compile content, the next element to this is to assemble a wireframe. And for the wireframe, we use Visio Studio because it allows us to fairly quickly and easily compile professional looking wireframes. Again, this is not well, the wireframe looks fairly good. This one, I wouldn't say it is extremely professional because I'm not a professional in wireframing, and I spent 5 days learning Visio, and I started building wireframes. I started building stencils to simplify my work. So I do know a bit about Visio, but I'm definitely not professional. I've been building websites for over 15 years, but I've been doing wireframing for 1 month, maybe, at most. So if you can bring your wireframing expertise to the table, that will be really great. And there is a lot of areas to improve on when it comes to wireframing. So in this specific case, we're looking at the website Korean Warranty Solutions. The website started out as our client actually sent us information, and she gave me an outline of what she wanted. This information was sent by her by email, so that was really great. And I proposed a generic structure for her. And once we have completed the wireframing, she approved it, and we went to, it was sent to graphic designer, and graphic designer actually dressed up the wireframe. You can see that the header section here is specialized in warranty claims. So all of that was added by my graphic designer. She actually added additional things here. So we have the form, we have the sections over here. You can see that. Frequently asked questions, reasonable rates. So basically, something that looks fairly bland and insignificant does get dressed up really nicely by a graphic designer. And at the end, we have a website. This is a functioning website that we have uploaded. Client did not like the image that we had here. She insisted on using a very low resolution image that we have displayed right now. But as they say, client is the one who is right, so we have to use the image that they provided. And you might be asking me a question, what about mobile friendliness? And that's a very good question. This website is mobile friendly, and if we reduce the screen size, you can see that everything does restructure as it should. Now, in terms of the wireframing for a mobile version, you don't need to do that because I do that on my own. So you just need to provide me a wireframe and communicate with client to make sure that we get all of the information inside the wireframe. It's easy to change the wireframe. It's more difficult to change the graphic design, and it's even more difficult to change the structure of the website once it's built. So we try to address all of the big changes on the wireframing stage. Okay, so there is another example. This is an extremely low budget website that we have built. And the client sent me information, and he sent me also a couple of pictures from his book. So I've created a wireframe for him, main image, announcement. He wanted to have videos on his website, and he wanted a blog. So you can see that the footer is rather odd here, and I asked my graphic designer to create a footer, and this is here just for demonstration purpose. Again, simply because I didn't have time to create a footer, proper footer within the wireframe. This is the live website. Now, I've asked my graphic designer to just create a footer for me. Everything else, designer was not involved. So I've created this website all by myself without the help of the designer, simply because it is an extremely low budget project and we didn't have resources to hire a designer. But it turned out quite well. We have video sections, there's a blog section, and you can see that the client is actually managing his own content, which is really cool. There's freebies section, newsletter subscription. It's a very functional website, very functional. A lot of really cool functions here. This is something that would work extremely well for a startup non-profit organization. Another website example is Rick More Clean. We have built this website fairly recently. Top 3 services, professionals, testimonials, contact form, frequently asked questions are our core values. So that's the generic structure. When we look at the graphic design, our top 3 services, you can see how graphic designer really dressed up the wireframe. Doesn't even look like wireframe anymore. And when we actually look, one more thing. Sometimes we need several wireframes. This website has a big services page, which has a lot of elements in it. So I had to create another wireframe specifically for the services page. Bigger websites, more expensive websites, they will require multiple wireframes for different pages. But usually we are able to go, we're able to just make the home page wireframe, and then we basically extrapolate. I find some blocks and I put them in, so we don't necessarily have to do wireframing for every single page, but sometimes it's needed. That's the case. So I don't have actually the wireframe for the second page. I think I lost it, but my graphic designer took my wireframe and she generated this page for us. And that's the final website we have. You can see that there is this top 3 services section. We have the testimonials, frequently asked questions, book cleaning today. This is our services page that I talked about. Looks really nice. There's a blog that they're not using. They should be using. And contact us page. You can see that we had wireframing only for the home page and only for the services page. About us, we did not have wireframe, so and they didn't really want anything there. I asked them if they want to have their own images here, but they told me no, just keep it as plain text. So that's what we did. Contact us page also, I did not need a wireframe for it. I just took this book a cleaning section and I've just placed it here. So the page looks really nice, but it's a fairly quick process to generate it. Okay, so I think that's pretty much, that's the last wireframe that I'm going to show you. Essential PA self-storage is I guess that's the latest website that we have built. They wanted to have in the header different locations that they allow that they have storage units in. They also asked me to create quick way for people to navigate to different locations. So I've created the buttons here, and also they asked us to insert a guidance so people can see which specific unit size would work best for them. So I had to generate that. I've just copied and pasted from a different website. But this is a wireframe, and how it's going to look in real life, that's going to be determined by the graphic designer. Frequently asked questions, that's standard, and an action button at the end. Let's have a look at the graphic designed version. Again, dressed up really nicely. We have locations section. We have this selection module. You can see how it looked. This is copy paste from a website, and this is what designer has put together. Really neat. We actually had to do 3D custom drawings for this. And when we look at the final website, that's how final website looks like. All built and released. client did ask me to make a couple of changes to it. And here's the selection, unit selection size section. Actually have a whole video of how I programmed it. It was a fairly complex project. Now they have multiple locations here, but they follow the same structure because there isn't that much to this page. There's just 4 images. There is a lease application, and there is a unit track integration through API to the third-party system. So that was all built by me. I didn't really need wireframing for this section. I've just assembled it, and client was happy with it. So again, this is another example where we have just one wireframe for the home page, and all other pages, they were assembled without a wireframe. Okay, so going back to I'm going to go back to wireframing and how I wireframe right now. So we have a Visio Studio, and I have this initial template that I'm using. And as you remember previously in the video, I mentioned that I started creating stencils, and stencils are really cool because I'm able to just quickly reuse different blocks like this. We specialize in, and there's 6 items, or we specialize in, there's 3 items. We have testimonials section over here. Look at that. I drop it here, I replace the content with client's content, and this section is finished. In terms of the wireframing, we have a couple of buttons here. There is about us intro, like this, that can be inserted. Contact forms. There's just one contact form right now. I think they have a couple of footers here. Footer 1, footer with newsletter, and Masters to 6 CM. So basically wireframing isn't that difficult once you have the stencils. It can be done fairly fast. And the problem here is that I simply do not have I do have time. Well, I guess I don't really have time, but I need to have somebody else work on this because I do need to focus on other things in business. And if I, for example, here, see, I'm just trying to delete it and it doesn't delete for some reason. I'm not proficient in wireframing. I can build nice wireframes, but it takes me quite a bit of time. Okay, so I'm going to stop embarrassing you with my wireframing abilities. I'm sure you'll be able to do a lot nicer wireframes and a lot faster. You'll probably know how to delete this thing and why it doesn't delete for me. Whereas this one does delete. Okay, so that's the deal. I need somebody to help me build these things. I have created stencils. There's about us, body elements, common icons, contact forms, all of these things. So I go to more shapes and I open stencils, whatever they're called, stencils. So I just select them, I click open, and they appear over here. Well, now I've double added them. But basically the idea is to compile blocks into stencils that we can reuse down the road, and to make sure that each time if we have a block that we don't have yet but we need one, we're going to be adding it to a stencil. Another area that I need help in is to organize different blocks into different categories so they're easy to find. You can see that I've created about us, body elements, common icons, contact forms, footer, general. I mean, these things are a little bit confusing. It's a good idea to find a way how to organize the stencils into specific categories. Now, you might wonder what the green icons over here are. BC6, ACDA, and why I have them here. That's one question. Another question is, there's also green text over here. Button will link back to the top of the page to get there to get started from. So this tells the client where something will link to, and we should have had similar green text over here to tell which specific button where it's going to link to. And when we save PDF file, this green information over here, including the strange odd numbers that you see here and letters, they get sent to client as well for a review. Now client does read this, but they don't. They also see this, but they don't ask me questions what this is and why it is there. And the numbers here, they are cross-referenced to our library. I've created a library of elements that I use for programming, and you might think that we have all of the elements that we have inside the library inside of our Visio stencils, but we don't, simply because I didn't have time to add them. So this is another thing that I might need your help with down the road, is every time that we use a specific block within our library and we don't have a stencil in Visio, we'll need to create one and add it to the stencil library. Now let's have a look at the content blocks over here. First of all, this library is protected, so only you can get into here only with a password. It has different sections. It has headers. That's the headers for the top of the website, right over here. And I think I have headers over here within my stencils. Yeah, there's H4 header. So if we look at our, yeah, see, we don't even have H4. We don't have H1, we don't have H2, we don't have H3. So we'll need to create potentially H1, H2, H3 down the road, and even H4. But basically, the way that we go at the building website, first you'll probably need to compile content, generate content, get content from the client. Once you have the content, sketch out rough outline of the wireframe. I might help to do that. The next element will actually be going into the library here, once I decide to work with you, safboot.com. I'm going to give you login information into here, and you look at different headers that we have. If you can use one of the headers, then please do. It's going to save development time, big time. If you want something unique, something different, if you see a header that's that hasn't been developed, but you think that it will look really great for a specific website, for example, this header is not, we haven't done this header yet, it's not within any of our library elements, but it looks really good, so we might add it. So you can create a new header for sure, and then once we design it, we're going to add it to our library. As you can see, we have we're going to have a Visio download section here. So when we click on Visio, it downloads the zip file, which will contain stencils and the main template file. So once we do update the Visio, once you update and add things to to the stencils, make sure to email me an updated version, and I'm going to update it on the backend administration of advanced custom fields, well, in our library, basically, to make sure that we have all of the elements always intact and up to date. So headers is the headers. We have sliders section. We have several different sliders over here, and also we'll need to, there's always a Visio link, because it links to one, all of the Visio links link to the same downloadable file, so it's really one link across all of the website. And you can see that this specific header over here, it's used on this website. There we go. You can see that the color has changed, the formatting has changed slightly, but the structure is generally the same. So when you're going to be doing wireframing and looking at the library that we have here, don't look at the images, look at the structure, because images and the colors and everything else will be modified by the graphic designer. But look at the structure. This header has text down the center, and it's just a picture. This header has text in the bottom, it has a line, it has submessage, and it has a final statement, and it has the shade element to it over here. That's the structure for this specific slider. This is just a picture, it doesn't have anything in there. This is a picture, but it has 3 buttons here, 3 icons, and a text down at the bottom. So when you're going to be creating a Visio stencil element, make sure to observe the structure that you see here. And again, if there is something that you want to see but it's not here, let us know and we'll create something. Well, you create it and then let us know that it's a new element, and we'll create a new element. But try to reuse the elements that are in here, because it really helps us cut down on the development time. Okay, so we have headers, sliders we looked at, body elements. Body elements is broken down into buttons. You don't really need to worry about this. Still work in progress. This library is fairly new. Hasn't been here for forever. It has. I've started it only about 2 months ago, so it's a very new project. And we have these different sections. You can see that this element, you've seen it in Oil Essential website. It's right here. It's hoverable and it changes, it shifts up a little bit when you hover over it. So this section would have a structure of 2 columns, and this one is always on the right side and the text will stick to the right within this one. So there's quite a bit of different elements that we can use, that we have accumulated over the years. Well, not really over the years, since I've started building the this library here, but we're going to keep adding elements to it. So over time we'll have a lot more elements in it. But even this amount of elements already will give you fairly large flexibility in terms of the website content that you can generate. Again, if you think that client needs something, create a new element, add it to a stencil, let me know, and we're going to add it to a library. And then we can reuse it in future. Top navigations, navigation element, this is really for me. You don't really need to use it. Forms definitely need to be part of your part of the stencil library eventually, simply because forms are needed sometimes. This is one example of a form that would look really great in Visio, and we actually have it. Contact forms. When I've built it for a client, I've actually created this contact form. You can see here it is. There it is. But if you look at my website, webbaker.com, there's another great example of a contact form. Image on the left side and the form on the right side. So this could be another really great element to be added to the wireframe library. Okay, so that's the deal. I think I've covered a lot of things. I think you understand exactly how we work right now and how we build websites, why we are fairly unique, what makes us different from other organizations. This is something I'm working on right now. And hopefully you'll be excited to work with us. In terms of the how much help do I need? We're a small company. It's myself. I have a graphic designer. I have a senior web developer in Florida that does really complex development projects. And that's pretty much it. We do get orders on and off from time to time, so this is going to start up as a very extremely part-time, well, not even part-time, case-on-case basis really this time. But I am ramping up my marketing right now, and I'm expecting a lot more business in the coming future, and that's why I want to be proactive and find the right person to work with, somebody who understands the nature of web development and what we do here and how we are different from other agencies, and to see that we actually are bringing extremely high quality product to clients, and really find that perfect match, somebody who I'll be really happy to work in for the next 20-30 years. And let's grow this business together. Yeah. Let me know if you're interested, and you can either reply through Upwork. I'm going to post this to Upwork as well. Probably that's where you're seeing this video from right now. If you are coming to me from YouTube, because I'm going to upload it to YouTube as well, go to webbaker.com /contact. You can enter information here, and you can send me the request through my website over here. So please do not just send me your resumes, because I don't really care for resumes. There's a lot of fake resumes out there. Send me your portfolio. I'll be really happy to see your portfolio and a general description of what you can do, and some ideas on how you can contribute to this. That would be really helpful. Okay, what else? I guess I'm going to share with you my personal contact information, so you can email me info. Going to insert home tools rectangle. I should have used text box for this. So it's going to be peter@webbaker.com. That's my email address. So you feel free to email me. And I do have a YouTube channel if you want to see a little bit more information of on what we do and how I program. This YouTube channel is really geared towards web developers. So you'll see a lot of videos on how I program different blocks that I use within the websites. Feel free to look at it. This YouTube channel is really new. I have just set it up fairly recently. I mean, it was registered for a long time, but I've just started uploading videos to it. You can see that this video is like two days old. This is 1 week old. So they're new videos. And I don't really have much subscribers at this time, but it is growing. So feel free to check out the YouTube channel, check out my website, check out my clients through my portfolio. And if you're interested, let me know. I'll be happy to hear from you. Thanks. Take care. Bye.